is the deepest and the most godlike thing that anyone could ever do. And the reason that it's the most deepest, the deepest one, most wonderful thing that we can ever do is because it is the one thing that we mamish learn from Hashem. Because Hashem was the first person to give. What did he give? He gave us the gift of life. And he showed us how to give infinitely from the deepest level. But the problem, as my father would say, with us schleppers, is that we haven't learned that secret yet. We can only give on the level of, if I give you an apple, I give it to you, but then I don't have it anymore. But my father would teach us that when we give deep things, we can mamish be on the level. If I give you love, if I give you a hug, I still have it. If I share with you a sweet little Torah, I still have it, and it grows inside me. And if I have one little candle, I can mamish light up the whole world. And that's what my father was. He was Hashem's little candle. Hashem's shaliach to light up the whole world. And he came down at a time of great darkness, and with his love, his Torah, and his fire, of course his music, he started his holy kindling. But even though he was the Rebbe to the world, and is said to be Avram Avinu, the Baal Shem Tov, Heichal David HaMelech, he was my daddy. His songs that inspired thousands put me to sleep at night. He was my little candela. He was my best friend. He would go out into the world with his heavenly melodies, his beautiful voice, his gewalt smile, his tender hugs. But then he would come home to me, and we would watch TV, we would walk the dog, and he would become Myrna, the sweetest, cutest, best lover in the whole world. I knew who he was on a very, very deep level, and I loved him more than anyone has ever loved. And now I long for him in a way and with a pain I could never express. This speech is not doing anything for me. I sat for hours, and I said to my father, wherever you are, bless me to say the right thing. That's what he'd always say to me, bless me to say the right thing. But I thought, no, it's not going to come to me, so I wrote this speech. And I've been writing it for 4 days, I want you all to know. And it's not doing anything for me. I realize that now. There's nothing that I can say about my father, really, because when he was alive, I could never tell him how much I loved him, although I hope he knew. Now that he's gone, I can't express even to myself what I feel, because he was everything to me. He wasn't just my father. He wasn't just my Rebbe. He wasn't just my friend. He was my light. He was my world. He was my mentor. He was my inspiration. And I feel very, very alone. From when I was a little girl, I would wait for him to come home. When he would leave, when I was 2, I would stand at the window and I would wait for him to come back. Sometimes for days. My mother couldn't move me. And when I was older, I would still say to him, cancel, 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 cancel. In our language, you'd say, cancel Google. I don't know if anyone remembered our language. We had this little language we spoke to each other in. And he would say to me, my sweetest, would you rather have a shoemaker for a father who sat like a Lakshan and a Nebuchal all day? I'd say, sometimes I wish I did, because he would probably come home for dinner more. But I couldn't have asked for a better father. I couldn't have asked for a more caring, more loving. I don't care. I would rather have had you, Myrna. I would rather have had you for 20 years than some other Nebuchal for 300. I miss you so much. I'm still joking. to tell a joke. He always told jokes. I did share one with you. Okay. There's an ad in the newspaper, and it says trips to Europe for $35. So a little Schwarzler runs down, and a little Polak runs down. And they get to the pier, they give them $35, and the man hits him on the head and throws him in the river, in the ocean. So the two of them are swimming along. And the Polak turns to the Schwarzler and says, "Do they serve breakfast on this trip?" And he answers,